The good, the bad, and the odd. They do go on.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd. We're your hosts, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hey.
Right, okay, so we're firmly into 2019 now, and during this year, we're going to be 8 years old, this podcast. That's going some, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, tonight we are talking about a World War II film. I don't know if we've done any World War II films before.
I think we've done some that had bits from World War II. Like definitely Frankenstein Conquers the World.
Oh, yeah. Whoa, that is very sideline.
Yeah.
But this is a World War II film. This is from 1968, made by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, starring Richard Burton. Now, I don't think we've covered... I was going to say we haven't covered a Richard Burton film, but we have. We did that. He was in Exorcist 2.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, Richard Burton, Clint Eastwood. He's always good to watch. And Mary Ure.
I don't think we've actually done a Clint Eastwood film.
We've done... Have we not? Man, Clint Eastwood doesn't get talked about much these days, but man, he was like top of the box.
Well, he's gone off the rocker a bit. So.
Well, he's that old. He's really old.
Yeah.
But man, he was like the top paid star, the highest grossing star, i.e. films made the most money, for decades. Honestly, he was ridiculously big from early 70s through to the late 80s, I'd say. He's great as well. He's got some really good films. Haven't we done The Good, the Bad, the Ugly?
I don't think we have.
Oh, we should do the Dollars Westerns for sure.
Or should we save that for like 10th anniversary?
Maybe.
And do the 10th anniversary show on Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah, that sounds
That's the
good.
namesake for the podcast.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. But, I mean, there are two film franchises we should definitely cover at some point, which is the Dollars Westerns, which includes The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. But also the Dirty Harry films are really worth watching.
Yeah.
The first two are excellent. They kind of tail off after that. But, in fact, the fifth one's ridiculous, but it's kind of still fun. However, anyway, let's get back to this. So, now this is an interesting film because, like, war films after World War II in the 50s, certainly British war films were much more serious. They had action, they were kind of exciting, but there was always definitely built into them like the cost of war. The damage done.
Well, I mean, that was really the war where some stuff went down.
Yeah. Like, for example, if you see the Dam Busters, it's quite an exciting film, but you're in no doubt of how tragic, lives lost of men doing something to desperately trying to save their country from invasion and an enemy, and a horrible enemy. And, since World War II, well, even during World War II, there was no doubt at all that Nazis had to be fought. World War II is one of the clearly just wars, I would say. So that it's got that going for it, right? Whereas a lot of the other wars are dubious or, not sure we should have done that. Whereas fighting Nazis is pretty clearly the thing to do with Nazis, right?
Yeah.
So there is that. But what happened then in the 60s is war films started to become more like adventure stories. And I think a transition one was a film called The Great Escape. And then it got into proper bonkers adventure stories like this film, I'd say, and things like The Dirty Dozen, which are great fun, Kelly's Heroes. Great fun films, but don't really exist in reality. They're just like adventure films, a bit like Indiana Jones kind of things. Interesting film. Now, this was written by Alistair MacLean. It was one of his stories. Now, he was a very famous kind of thriller writer of the day. In fact, lots of films have been made of his works. He was almost like the Michael Crichton of his day kind of thing, in that a lot of his books got converted into films, such as The Satan Bug and stuff like that.
He wrote Guns of Navarone. Wow.
Yeah, that's one of his. Guns of Navarone is, again, one of the transitioning ones where it went from, properly showing the impact to being more adventure-y. Whereas Eagles, there was much more, doing stuff. What did you think of the film?
It was pretty good.
pretty good.
Yeah.
It really picks up, I think, when after the first hour. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I was really looking forward to it. Someone you know what? I suggested this, right? It's only because someone posted on Facebook they were watching it. It was like, oh man, I definitely have to see where Eagles Dare again. I was kind of really juiced. And it wasn't quite how I remembered it. I thought there was way more shooting, even though there was quite a lot, right?
Yeah. You were going on about it, but I think this has way less than, like, any Arnold Schwarzenegger film.
I think you're right, but I remember it being way more.
Commando is my current highest from that bit where he just walks across a garden.
Yeah, he's just
literally does not take his finger off a trigger of some huge machine gun, and guys are just dropping to the floor.
I saw a funny picture of that on Facebook the other day. That says, when I play a game and they suggest stealth mode, this is me, and it just showed
stealth mode is optional.
Stealth mode is optional. But this was one of the first films, I think, where it was properly mental gunplay all the way for quite significant stretches of the film. You have seen Richard Burton once before in Exorcist 2. What did you think of him in this?
I quite liked him.
I much
preferred his trickery to Clint Eastwood's gunplay.
Yeah, he's the thing is, what always impressed me about this is, Clint Eastwood is a pretty alpha male, in the way that Arnold's an alpha male, but Richard Burton was an alpha male.
Yeah, yeah.
He was messing with everyone.
It's funny when they have that little conversation after everything sort of gets revealed, where he's just like, "You're kind of just an attack dog for me."
Yeah, it's funny, and I just love the way Richard Burton just tries to mess with people's heads at every single opportunity. He does not allow. He doesn't have to do it. He just does it. Like at one point, he's in a bar and he's like, he wants the woman to slap him, and when the woman slaps him, this guy goes, "You are not becoming of a German officer." He says, "My name's Bernard Himmler. Does that mean anything to you?" He's just messing with the guy.
I think my favourite is where he has them all round like a dinner table, and he's pretty much just got off with faking being a high-ranking SS officer.
Yeah.
And literally just said I was kind of messing with you. I've got this German general around my finger.
Yeah.
And then another guy walks in and points his gun at him, and he just looks at him and goes, "These men were conspiring to kill the Fuhrer."
He doesn't let up. It's amazing. And even one of the generals gets the and he goes, "This is preposterous." And he's like, "Sit down." It's like, whoa. Yeah. But I did like some of Clint Eastwood's gunplay. I like the fact that he pretty much tried to kill everyone himself. He didn't give anyone any shots to shoot at anyone. Even in a room full of people with other people on his side with guns, he still shot everyone. He literally shot everyone he could. That made me laugh too. But yeah, Richard Burton is pretty funny in this. The vibe of the film, see if this sounds right to you. The vibe of the film felt like it had a touch of Bond about it, in that it was just kissing women.
But it was like Bond done better, almost.
Yeah, and
he was actually he was doing stuff so ostentatiously.
Yeah.
That it kind of it went beyond something you could actually prove. It's not just he walks in and he sits down at a card table and sort of I'm part of this now. It's like he walks in and goes I own this casino, and everyone believes it. So.
He is amazing. I love this character. He's super funny, and he just does not care. He does not care, and it's just amazing. He's supposed to be kind of undercover as a spy, and he's saying, "I'm Bernard Himmler." Yeah. And he just at one point they have to get through a checkpoint, and Clint Eastwood looks kind of nervous. Richard Burton just strides through, doesn't he?
Yeah. I think my favourite bit is where they're being taken up to the castle. They knock out the guys in the truck and then just sort of turn themselves in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they just say, "What do we do here?" Turn ourselves in, and they're in the car, and they take out. Is it 4 Nazis in a car?
Yeah. for Nazis in closed environment, they were handcuffed,
Yeah, they took
and
him.
they still won.
They got one to machine gun the driver.
They chucked three. They chucked three of them just out of the car.
One got chucked out of the car. One went through the windscreen.
Yeah,
They hit something, and they just gets out of the car and just carries on, right? And it's like
it's funny because I was looking at some trivia for this, and apparently the book of it is remarkably deathless.
Really, that is very interesting.
They just sort of walk up and knock them out, or at one point they start using drugs. So
I think you know what I think. Alistair MacLean was more of an old school writer, like a Bulldog Drummond kind of guy, and possibly Ian Fleming kind of guy, because Bond wasn't that, didn't wreak havoc that much. He did a bit, actually, saying that. I say that. But he actually Alistair MacLean wrote the novel and the screenplay at the same time, so it's interesting that they diverge.
yeah,
It's not one was based on the other, it's just that he wrote both at the same time. I'm kind of interested to read the book now, but now you said it's kind of bloodless, I'm not sure. I just like the gadgets too. There was gadgets, right? They were simple gadgets. They had dynamite with either a timer or a tripwire.
yeah.
Right?
They had
just
a
put 'em
remarkable
everywhere.
amount of dynamite.
And
How did they get this much dynamite into a place?
And earlier on,
I understand that they had a girl going in and out regularly, but still,
they had a lot of time.
there's only so much dynamite you could. I don't know. It's a World War II film, so probably hide it in a cleavage or something like that.
Yeah. I did like the fact that they planted all this dynamite on this road, and you think, what the hell are they doing? And then you don't find out till the end of the film that was the whole plan, so that they actually go off the road and hit these trees as they're driving, and then the dynamite goes off and blocks the road behind them and stuff like that. It's really funny. I also really like the fact the girl was a badass.
She was pretty good.
She
Both
was
the girls were pretty good.
It's Ingrid Pitt, who's often in Hammer, and in fact, there was a touch of Hammer about this to me as well in the film
There's
stock. Maybe
Ingrid Pitt and Mary Ure. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Well, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I always said Ure, like Midure, right?
Yeah.
She was really good in it, and I think she and Ingrid Pitt's definitely been in Hammer, and I think Mary Ure was in one or two as well. I did post that I was watching this on Facebook, and I got quite a big response. I wasn't expecting. And so one post that did make me laugh was by Brian Higgins, I think, and he said the soundtrack alone would beat the Nazis, and it was a very bombastic. What do you think of the soundtrack?
I didn't really notice the soundtrack
very
that much.
military, that sort of marchy, bombastic.
Except from that 10-minute plane flight credit scene.
Yeah.
At the start, which was absurd.
Yeah, that was. It was. I mean, they filmed the Alps really well, didn't they? Or whatever mountain range it was. It was shot in Austria and Bavaria, so I think that's the Alps. Is that it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably.
It looked really good, and it was snow all the way through. That must have been hell to film, but they did okay, right?
Austria, so yeah, probably the Alps.
I also like Michael Hordern, who died recently. Who was the voice of Paddington, is the general.
Really? Huh?
Yeah, the general who oversaw it all, and so on. There's going to be spoilers here, but this is an old film, right? This is 50 years old. In fact, it's 51 years old now.
Huh.
Is that right? Yes, it is. Yeah, 51 years old. It's a famous phrase now, and you see T-shirts.
Michael Hordern didn't die recently. That's 23 years ago.
Oh man, what was I thinking?
He died before I was born.
Michael Hordern? Did he?
Yeah.
I thought he died not long ago.
Michael Murray Hordern, 3rd of October 1911.
Michael Hordern.
Yeah, Hordern.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
2nd of May 1995.
What am I thinking of there? Honestly, yeah, you're right. Sorry, I thought he died recently. I don't know what I'm thinking of. We get various other actors that you're not that familiar with, but I've kind of known from older films, such as Donald Houston as one of the traitors, and is it Weimark? Richard Weimark is the main traitor, the main traitor.
You know, I actually recognised Donald Houston.
Did you? What from?
Clash of the Titans.
Whoa, that is a deep cut. That is, wow.
Yeah.
And we get various Nazis that are very much like the Nazis in Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of that about that. I just did like some of the...
It's a lot of Nazis run round a corner and immediately get shot for the last half of this film.
Did you like the one where they're all like pensively going up the stairs and they look up and Clint Eastwood's just there smiling at them?
Yeah.
With a machine gun. That was kind of funny. And he's just casually tossing dynamite around, isn't he, with timers, in the middle of an ACAT gun. And also when he went down to the armoury, he's got a suitcase. He just goes up and sort of smiles at the guy, opens the case, pulls his gun out and shoots him in the chest.
Yeah.
That was funny. He did.
Is that the bit where they rigged the giant pile of dynamite all to one fuse that's linked to the door?
They do something like that. They basically create mayhem. They're killing everyone, essentially. Clint Eastwood shoots everyone in that room, and then they rig the room. So when the soldiers turn up, everything blows up. It's pretty cool. I found it was a little slower to start than I remembered. It took a while for them to. There was a lot of like finessing and stuff to actually get to the castle, but it was kind of fun, especially when. He was sort of saying things like, I'm Bernard Himmler. And it was funny. They gave themselves up straight away. Yeah. And you think, what?
I thought that it was kind of funny when I can't remember what he was. I think he was a major that thought he was going to score a threesome.
Yeah.
He was like super with you. He's like, Ingrid Pitt was like, oh, I'm coming too. He's like, oh, are you?
Yes, he's very happy. He was very happy to see the women. Didn't realise they were both spies. That was kind of funny. We do get a bit of what's going on, mystery at the beginning because one of the parachuters has his neck broken.
Yeah.
There's so we know that there seems to be a rat in the nest, but it turns out most of them are rats. Funny enough. So essentially, part of the plan was parachute everyone we think might be a spy in with them and see how it all shakes out. So that worked out well, and it was a ridiculous plot. Create all this diversion just to get a list of spy names, right? It was like, wow. And even
it was pretty funny. They walked up to a guy who's like next to a tree that is like parachute is hanging out of. Yeah, he's like just crumpled on the floor. They're like, did he hit the tree? And Burton, without even really looking, is just like, he's had his neck snapped.
Yeah,
he's like had the barrel of a gun like whacked against the back, and then they cracked his neck so that he wouldn't like show. So
he saw a bruise, didn't he? Yeah. This is obviously not a drama. It's an adventure film.
No. For the longest time, I thought Burton was going to be the traitor.
Did you?
Yeah.
I've seen it too many times to know he's not, you see, and it's like, he could well have been, you know what I mean? He was super confident. In fact, the reason he was on the mission, the head traitor sent him on the mission, he thought he was a traitor as well. Yeah. So he just thought it was a good idea. But it was like, he was like a triple agent or something like that. Because at one point, to prove he was working for the Germans, he got the general to phone up some bloke in Italy, didn't he?
Yeah, who confirmed that he was like SS officer,
and he says, "Tell him he's a reprobate," and he says, "Tell him he's a degenerate, a rogue." Yeah. And he just laughs. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. Put hangs up. It's kind of funny, and he's like, it's just so much unbelievable about messing with Nazis' heads that's super funny. You don't often see it in films, someone that confident just messing with people, and it's really quite refreshing.
No. I like the super end twist where he's like, so you're gonna shoot me, are you? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot you. It's like, did so and so hand you that gun? It's like, yeah. Well, he's taken out the firing pin, so you're not gonna be shooting me.
Yeah. And he gives him the opportunity. They'll just watch him jump out of the way. And considering how much action went before this, that could have been anticlimactic, but it works perfectly, really. It does work perfectly. And I have to tell
Honestly, I was half expecting Clint Eastwood to like walk up to the door and just shoot him as he was falling.
as well. I don't think he needed to though. It's the radio call sign broadsword calling Danny Boy is quite famous now. You sometimes see T-shirts with it on, so it's kind of the calling card of this film. Broadsword calling Danny Boy, kind of like it, and it's often used by people doing impressions of Richard Burton.
Yeah,
they'll say broadsword calling Danny Boy. I don't know if you remember it, but the film Scrooged.
Yeah.
The bit with the tramps, they think Bill Murray is Richard Burton. So they're sort of asking him. And so when you watch Scrooged again, think of this film. And
it's going to be...
Together. I have to say, the music in this film, I don't know why, it made me think of the adventure music in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, bizarrely. And it was so bizarre when you're thinking about that. The whole escape... What about the whole cable car scene? That was kind of gratuitous.
That was brutal. Like, he just kicks him in the face so many times.
Yeah, and then leaves the other bloke in the car to blow up.
Yeah.
It was funny they made one of the traitors go down the road.
So far down.
Yeah. Yeah, that was... It looked a bit goofy. It was funny they made one of the traitors climb down one of the ropes, knowing he'd probably get machine gunned. And he did. That was kind of funny. Good diversion. And they just hide behind the door until all the Nazis clear off again and come out and start all over again. Amazing.
Yeah.
And there's all the business with Schaefer gets caught by the traitors and they have to do it. They had to give Richard Burton a bit of actiony stuff to do, I suppose, because Clint Eastwood was just shooting everyone, wasn't he? He was ridiculous, and he did Gunzerk now. Have two-handed machine guns, dual-wielded machine guns now and again, and it was kind of funny. It was some of the sort of German stuff was weird. It was like they were SS officers, but the Gestapo guy seemed to be the really bad one. But I'm pretty sure it was the SS were the worst of all. So I was kind of confused there. That didn't ring quite true, but I don't know enough to be sure. It's like I think the SS.
I keep getting the Gestapo and the SS mixed up.
Yeah, the Gestapo is the state police. So it's more like the bully boys of civilians, whereas the SS were the soldiers. They were the elite, and if you wanted to be super elite, the real evil sods was the Waffen-SS.
Yeah.
So we had all that, and it was. I really enjoyed this film. Would you recommend this film?
Yeah, probably. It was weird because watching this, I can, last week when we were talking about Dracula, I said that this bit reminded me of JoJo because this is something vampires do particularly in JoJo, where they it looked kind of like he stuck his fingers in his neck. This reminded me of it too. The whole bit where he was just like completely talking out of his arse.
Right.
That's something that a couple of the JoJos do, very frequently, and in such spectacular fashion. There's a bit where a guy bluffs that he planned a volcano erupting at the same time, and it works.
Wow.
So
how about that?
And that part featured Nazis too. So
maybe they watched this too. Maybe Hammer and Where Eagles Dare.
Araki probably did it.
Apparently Eastwood didn't like the initial script. He thought it was all horrible, loads of way too much exposition, and didn't want to do a lot of the lines. And they cut some, but they also handed quite a lot to Richard Burton as character. So Eastwood
he only had like 5 lines in the entire film.
But he wanted it that way. Funny enough, he did the same with Fistful of Dollars. Apparently, Fistful of Dollars script was way wordier, and Eastwood said, no, look, just cut all this. You don't have to have any of this stuff. And Eastwood was right, wasn't he? I mean, have you seen Fistful of Dollars? It really works well when he's a very quiet... He doesn't talk much in that either.
Is that the Four Coffins one?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
It was...
He's got so many good lines and so many good westerns, but...
Yeah. He apparently sometimes shooting of the film was delayed because Burton had go on a drinking binge. I mean...
of course.
He was properly...
I know about that.
He was a proper Hellraiser, was Richard Burton. And also the stuntman who stood in for Richard Burton when he was jumping around cable car sequence kind of thing. Apparently, he lost 3 teeth. The stuntman doing that. And it was the guy that, just so you know, it was the stuntman's name is Alf Joyne, who was the guy that in Goldfinger got electrocuted in the bath. It was him as well. So there was that. So yeah.
And you know they probably used that shot in the film.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Whenever you hear something like this, it's like, oh, this stuntman destroyed their arm. It's always the shot that's in the film.
Yeah.
I think the most famous one I think of most is Chris Nolan's. When they were filming Dark Knight Rises, they had an IMAX camera. Yeah. And this was when there was 4 in the... Not Dark Knight Rises, just Dark Knight.
Yeah.
There was only 4 IMAX cameras in the world, and he trashed 2 of them.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Big budget.
You know that underpass scene where they're there's the truck and the Batmobile all driving about? Yeah, it was that. The two vehicles just crushed it.
Whoa.
In between.
Yeah. So you pretty much like this film. I really like the end sequence actually, where the girl gets into it and starts machining. And it is funny that they're all just driving up the front and they just leave the girl shooting the Nazis and she's whacking them all out. That was pretty badass. I did like that quite a bit. They're even machine gunning Nazis right up to the last minute, aren't they? As the plane's taken off, they're still shooting and blowing up Nazis. It's kind of fun. So a lot of fun there. I really like the snow filming. I really like the castle. It looked like they were filming on location to me.
Most likely.
So I mean, some of the interiors could have been, interiors, but all the outside stuff was. We had rear projection, didn't we, when they were in the snow? Sometimes when it was a close.
Oh yeah, there was that one ropey bit of rear projection where they walk into a military camp.
Yeah, there was a few bits,
and you could see the guys that are walking about, them juddering about, I don't know, about an inch on the screen. It was absurd.
Yeah. So it's good fun, this film. The bad guys were the bad guys. The good guys, they weren't just all action star. It's almost like, I'm trying to think what the modern equivalent would be. I don't know. Yeah. The nearest I can think of someone who kind of messes with people's heads like this is probably Tony Stark, maybe?
Yeah, a little.
So if you remade this film, would it be, I don't know, Robert Downey Jr. and Jason Statham or something?
Something like that, probably.
That'd be amazing. I'll go see it. But are you glad you saw it?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's
interesting to see what Al Murray was on about for years.
Oh, yeah. So. This film was also discussed recently in a Christmas special Al Murray did about Great British War films. And this was mentioned as the most ridiculous of war films, actually. But everyone still likes it, right? But if you get a chance, try and catch it. I think it was a BBC, so it'd be on the iPlayer. It's worth a look just to see all these different war films and people talking about the different eras of war films. This came up and things like Zulu came up too. But if you're sticking with World War II, this one's a pretty solid one. Would you be interested in seeing any more World War II action films?
Maybe a few, but it does become stale at some point.
Yeah. I think
as satisfying as it will always be to see Nazis get shot.
Yeah.
There's only so many times that it'll be a good story, and there's 5 World War II stories, really.
So personally, I think the best World War II... This isn't quite true. There's some other good ones, but if you're talking about fun ones rather than, proper war films... it's kind of, what was I going to say? I was going to say Men on a Mission ones tend to be the best, right?
Yeah.
So reasonably recently we had Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
Tarantino, that was kind of fun. But there's also Dirty Dozen and stuff like that. And there's some Italian ones that are kind of interesting too. That are worth a look. They were cashing in on the things like Dirty Dozen and this kind of film. So there was that. But this one was kind of fun. Unfortunately, in the 70s, they take a turn for the war is hell kind of filmmaking. Do you know what I mean? So they're not as much fun. They're interesting, but they tend to be more drama and tend to be a little they're not as fun. They're kind of got a downbeat feel to them. As they're aiming for, this is Saving Private Ryan isn't fun, is it? Do you know what I mean?
No. No.
But it's a great film, but it's not fun. Whereas this is just ridiculous fun. Put it on and it's a slow build. But once they get into that castle, man, it's like you're laughing your head off at some of the antics they're getting up to.
Yeah.
And they're just messing with people or just shooting them. It's shoot or mess with their heads. And often it was like mess with their heads, then shoot them.
Yeah.
And it was,
Well, I don't think that Major or whatever he was that walked in on them and then got told that everyone was like planning to murder Hitler. I don't think he even had a clue what had gone on.
No.
Like he just sort of walked in, said like, "What's going on?" and then pretty much got shot immediately
in
after
the forehead,
detonation.
wasn't it? In the forehead?
Yeah, in the forehead, somehow below his cap.
Yeah.
So, as always, it's always either blood from the side of the mouth, something under their clothes, or it is leaking down from under their cap.
And
That's
also, again, that made me think of Hammer because it was red. It wasn't blood; it was red paint.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? So
it was food colouring at best.
It was that kind of thing. That castle was really something. I wouldn't mind seeing that castle. I have to say
that's in the background of Sound of Music.
Really?
Yeah.
It was some lovely scenery
During the picnic bit, so...
the title is actually taken from Shakespeare, if you're interested, from Richard III. The world is grown so bad that wrens make prey where eagles dare not perch. So there you go. How about that? Apparently Maclean was famous to have a lot of his stories had revealing some traitor that was being nefarious and undermining everything. And I do remember a lot of that as well.
Yeah.
So, good fun film. Anything else to say?
Not that I can think of.
Well directed. The action was coherent. You never got really confused. Lots of explosions. Quite spectacular bridge explosions in some of this.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
They looked real. I think maybe some of them were models. But I can't tell. I mean, the only ones that look really goofy, apart from the rear protection, was there's some of the like burning Nazis or Nazis falling down were obviously dummies. I mean, really obviously dummies. So that was kind of goofy. Did you watch? I sent you a YouTube.
Oh no, I didn't watch that. I forgot to.
4 minutes of it was basically a body count of how many people die in Where Eagles Dare, how many Nazis get killed in Where Eagles Dare, and it has a running tally, and it's 4 minutes, basically taken straight from the film, just edited highlights, and it got up to 89, and I think Clint Eastwood did the most kills, but Mary Ure did fair few at the end, actually.
Yeah.
She was machine gunning Nazis.
She got hold of a machine gun too, so...
Yeah. So there was touch of that. And Richard Burton got in now and again. The first person he shot actually got to the alarm, whereas Clint Eastwood was just killing them left. No one could get anywhere with Clint Eastwood. He was just killing them all. It was good fun. I rather enjoyed this. What would you give this out of 10?
I'd give this an 8, happily.
Yeah, I think it's a solid 9. I reckon the slightly higher score for me because nostalgia, right? I have seen this film a few times, really enjoy it. And I also kind of like the fact the women are actually quite... they're not tokens, are they? They're actually doing stuff.
They're like part of the plot, pretty much. They're integral to the plot.
Yeah, they are, and I really like that. I mean, a lot of fantasy war films are just they're just either they're not in it at all, or they're a sweetheart left behind, or they're there to die.
Or some German barmaid that they picked up or something.
Yeah, they're there to die often. So that's kind of cool. And it's kind of interesting if you're watching Glorious Bastards. Tarantino makes women fairly significant in a few ways too, which is kind of cool. Yeah. Really quite enjoyed this one. Glad I got to watch it again. In fact, I bought the Blu-ray just to watch again, and I'm glad I'm definitely going to watch this again. I can see this coming out at Christmas. Actually, I just feel like it was fun. Okay, so let's wind out there. So next time we do a main good bad nod, we're probably going to do a comfy chair, right? So
yeah.
that'd be cool. All right, so we'll tell you what we've been up to. Okay then, so bye from me.
Bye.
We like to hear from our listeners at The Good, The Bad and The Odd, so if you have any thoughts on this week's topic or anything else movie or TV related, drop us a line at info@thegoodthebadandtheodd.com. Written or MP3 attached, we like both. We're available on Stitcher, iTunes and as an RSS feed. Just go to www.thegoodthebadandtheodd.com for links to these. Also, feel free to come chat with us by joining our Facebook group on www.facebook.com/groups/The Good, The Bad and The Odd, all as one word. Thanks for listening, and until next time on The Good, The Bad and The Odd.